All right, a quick recap where we left off for Walk Two Moons. Mr. Berkway knows Mrs. Cadaver and went to her house to help her with some gardening. Mr. Berkway also collected all of the journals, which made the kids very anxious, and we don't know why. We don't know who the lunatic is and whether or not he's the one leaving the notes on Phoebe's front step. Sal notices that Mrs. Winterbottom often seems very sad, but her own kids, Phoebe and Prudence, don't seem to really care. And then lastly, we know that Sal's mom left her and her dad a while ago, and her and her grandparents are driving to Idaho to bring her home. Sal feels strongly that they need to get there by her mom's birthday in order for them to be successful. And in the current scene that we're in, they just stopped to cool off in the Missouri River. As Graham and Gramps and I sat in the Missouri River, I tried not to think of the postcards. I tried to concentrate on the high sky and the cool water. It would have been perfect except for that ornery crow calling away, "Car, car, car." "Will we be here long?" I asked. The boy came out of nowhere. Gramps saw him first and whispered, "Get behind me, Chickabiddy." "You too," he said to Graham. The boy was about 15 or 16 with shaggy dark hair. He wore blue jeans and no shirt, and his chest was brown and muscular. In his hand, he held a long knife, its sheath fastened to his belt. He stood next to Gramps' pants on the bank. I thought of Phoebe and knew that if she were here, she would be warning us that the boy was a lunatic who would hack us all to pieces. I was wishing that we had never stopped at the river and that my grandparents would be more cautious, maybe even a little more like Phoebe, who saw danger everywhere. As the boys stared at us, Gramps said, "Howdy." The boy said, "This here's private property." Gramps looked all around. "Is it? I didn't see any signs." "It's private property." "Why, heck," Gramps said. "This here's a river. I never heard of no river being private property." The boy picked up Gramps' pants and slid his hand into a pocket. "This land where I'm standing is private property." I was frightened of the boy and wanted Gramps to do something, but Gramps looked cool and calm. He sounded as if he hadn't a care in the world, but I knew that he was worried by the way he kept inching in front of me and Graham. I felt around the riverbed, pulled up a flat stone, and skimmed it across the water. The boy watched the stone, counting the skips. A snake flickered along the bank and slid into the water. "See that tree?" Gramps said. He pointed to an old willow leaning into the water near where the boy stood. "I see it," the boy said, sliding his hand into another of Gramps' pockets. Gramps said, "See that knothole? Watch what this here Chickabiddy can do to a knothole." Gramps winked at me. The veins in his neck were standing out. You could practically see the blood rushing through them.